Not only is Miami Beach the sun and fun capital of the world, it's also the capital of the wonderful world of nightclub comedians. And here's one of the best, Pat Cooper.
Very nice. You make me happy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud because today, my son was 7 years old, and today, he said his first word. You know what he said? Tequila. I got a 7-year-old boy, and Einstein a genius. You know what my kid asked me last week? He says, Papa, what is the NAACP? I says, that's the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. He says, Papa, we're Italian. Who we got? So I told him, the MAFIA. The Mothers and Fathers Italian Association. That's who we got. Now, let's be honest. The nationalities today is very important. I had to move out of an Italian neighborhood for my son. I live now in a Jewish neighborhood. My son plays with a 7-year-old Jewish boy. This is good. This is healthy. One problem. 2 weeks ago, the kid said to me, Papa, I want to be bar mitzvahed. I said, you're a Catholic. You got to be conformed. He said, gee, Daddy, you talk funny. So I ran next door to my neighbor. I said, Irving, your son's telling my son about being bar mitzvahed. He says, don't feel so bad. My kid wants to be conformed. I said, gee, Irving, you talk funny too. I said, Irving, what do you want to do? He says, look, we buy one suit. We conform and bar mitzvah the 2 kids in one day. I says, fine. I said, but Irving, do me the favor, have the dinner over my house. He says, go ahead. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I ran home to my mother, and I got a genuine Italian mother. 4'11". She has a bun over here, knitting needle over here, gold tooth over here, beauty mark over here. That's my mom. I says, Mom, I got a problem. She went, I says, Mom, I'm there for 30 years. Say something. I says, Mom, I got Jewish friends and Italian friends coming for dinner. What am I going to cook? She says, lox, Parmesan. Talk about nationalities, you got to explain everything to the children. There is one nationality that we should be afraid of, and that nationality is the Indian. They want their country back. It's very difficult when you got Indians around the house. My father saw this problem 20 years ago. Every Sunday afternoon, we had Indians in the house. Nicky Geronimo and the family. Italian Indians. They never said how, they said ciao. Because my father believed live in an integrated neighborhood. That's how we lived. Northern Italians, Southern Italians, Western Italians, Eastern Italians. I talk about my father for one reason. He's a genius. And he's the only Italian deported from Italy over here. He raised his children, love, respect, and honor thy neighbor. Every Tuesday, we had Chinese people for dinner. And to make them feel at home, my mother put a message in the ravioli. Yankee, go home, or something. Thursdays, we have Mexican people, warm, wonderful people. But my father always had trouble with them. They wanted to dance on his hat. I wish they ran this country like your father and my father ran his house. Because if my father were president, he'd be the first Italian in the White House to play numbers. Chingy, sei, hockey, no. And my dad's got a budget-minded brain. Married 45 years till today, didn't open his wedding envelopes. And he taught his children, don't ever ask your father for money because you're not going to get it. But he refused his children with class. I'll give you an idea. 7 years ago, I went to Hollywood to try to get into motion pictures. They told me I needed a nose job. It would cost me $1,000. I ran to my father. I says, Papa, I need $1,000 for a nose job. He says, I'm going to save you the money. Bing, get it. He cleared up the whole sinuses, everything right there, no problem. I say 90% of the gentlemen in this audience have asked their father to buy him a car. I did the same thing. What an answer my father gave me. He says that today a car costs $3,000. Why are you going to spend that money when you got a nice bus? 25 cents, they open the door for you. You'll sit down. You'll get up, but they open the door for you again. For $3,000, who's gonna open the door for you? And you mothers, you spend $15 extra a month on the phone bill just to call your children to come home to eat. My father and mother never needed a phone. They raised the window and went... Heaven help us if the dog got home before we did. One time my father whistled for my brother 4 hours. My brother was home in 5 hours, and he was stationed at Fort Dix at the time. But what's the answer? The answer is, are your children good? Are they healthy? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something you would never believe. 2 years ago, I was making $60 a week. $60 a week. Today, I make thousands. I make a fortune of money, but I'm in hock up to here. The more you make, the more you spend. I'm a big shot now, they tell me. I had to leave Brooklyn, New York. I live now on the east side. I left my mother's home. 13 rooms, $45 a month rent. She paint them every 3 days. I live now in a plush east side apartment. Room and a half, no closets. We have elevator service, beautiful elevator service with music. I'm on the 9th floor. This elevator stops all the time on the 8th floor. The same woman walks on. She looks at me. I look at her. We dance for 7 stories. Cost me $12 for lessons. How did I know she was from Arthur Murray? These are the things you have to go through. But I say this here. In all your life, remember the famous words of a young boy with glasses, Pat Cooper. Don't ever be ashamed of what you are. I'm not ashamed of what you are. I'm worried about what I am. Good night. Thank you.